Okay, class, I want to show you a quick tutorial on how to access feedback in D2L if you have not done so already. So there's a couple of different kinds of feedback that I give you. I give you feedback on major assignments through the Dropbox. So the way that you would access that feedback is that you would go to Assessments and then Dropbox. And I'm pretending to be a university student here. So as you see, I pretended to submit a file here, and unfortunately, D2L lets me pretend to submit files, but it does not let me pretend to grade. So I'm unable to actually give feedback on this pretend assignment and complete the simulation. And I don't want to show anyone else's feedback because that would be a FERPA violation of your educational privacy. So let's just pretend here. Evaluation status. This is where you will see a link. Once I complete evaluation, you'll see your score here, and then it'll say feedback available or something like that. Then you click on the feedback link, and that feedback link will take you to an area where you see my rubric feedback, the stuff that I enter into the comment box. And then oftentimes, if it's a major assignment, I attach back to you a document with track changes and comments in it. You should download that attachment. So on that page where you see that feedback link, you should click that link, look for any attachments, and read those comments in detail. Don't just read the rubric feedback, and don't just look at your score. So from this submission file, here you see that I submitted something, and I submitted it way late, but like I often tell you, I say, hey, I'm late, but you gave me an extension via email on February 25th, yesterday, for today until 5 p.m. That's the kind of comment that I want you to submit whenever I give you an extension. If you don't submit that comment, if you don't give that comment when you upload to the Dropbox, when I'm grading, I have a lot of different things going on, right? You're not my only student, unfortunately. So I've got a lot of information. I'm probably not going to remember, hey, I gave Jill I gave Jill an extension because I'm going to forget. But if Jill says, hey, you gave me an extension, remember that email that I wrote to you on, Thursday, February 25th? Then I'll say, oh yeah, I remember that. And I can look back at my email if I'm like, is Jill pulling my leg? And probably Jill is not pulling my leg, right? She's being honest. And usually I remember that email too. So please always give a reminder comment whenever you upload. If you don't give that reminder comment, then it just gets more complicated because I'll probably take off late penalties just thinking, hey, she was super late. She can only get 50% credit for this being so late, 50% credit. And then I write an email to Dr. Haugfett saying, hey, you gave me 50% credit, but you gave me an extension, remember? And then I have to go and regrade everything, right? And that's much more labor than just adding a comment. So all that's a long way of saying, please add a comment. It saves work for both you and me. All right, so the Dropbox is the main place that you'll see major assignment feedback. And most of you are getting this already because I can see in the Dropbox when you have read your feedback. The other way to see feedback is to go to grades. And this just shows all of my personal grades. And since I'm a pretend student, I don't see a whole lot of stuff here. What I want to draw your attention to is discussions and peer review. So here you will see the grade given and then the weight given to that grade. And over here should be comments and assessments. And that should link you back to the rubric that I use to grade all of the discussions. So in that rubric feedback for the discussions, I'm telling you exactly why you got the grade you did, or you can tell it just from the rubric categories. So, it could be, hey, one post was late, so 1 point off. It could be, you had 2 comments, but one of them was supposed to contain a question, so 1 point off. It could be, you did the main post, but it was late, so you get 50% credit. Those are the usual scenarios. But I am giving you rubric feedback in there. And you should see from that rubric. And, if there's a weird situation, I'll add it in the comments, like, this is why I've given you this grade. I am giving you detailed feedback on each of your discussions. You just might not know how to see that feedback. Oftentimes, I will grade the discussions and give everyone individual feedback through the rubrics, but I'm not usually going into the discussions and actually commenting there, because I don't want to evaluate you in any public way. I want your evaluations to all be private. Now, sometimes if there's a mistake or something in the discussion, I will come in and say, hey, you've made a mistake, or if someone's asked a question, I'll answer a question in discussions. But a lot of my feedback for the discussions is taking place behind the scenes. And if it's something like a practice discussion, I don't usually summarize the results of that discussion unless it's like a content-based discussion where there's like a debate over things. Then I will summarize what you guys think. So that's what's going on with the discussion feedback. I am giving you that feedback. It is in rubrics, but you might not have realized how to access that feedback. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope that helps.